Our social lives are quickly becoming completely separate from our physical existence. But how does this affect your body? An increasingly common ailment. It is the result of extensive slouching, particularly common in people who spend extensive amounts of time online. The dowager's hump. Their heads directed toward the screen and away from the body. We know from Wilhelm Reich that positions of our bodies hold a great deal of psychic significance. In the case of the dowager's hump, we are witnessing the result of the movement of our social egos away from our bodies and toward the digital. In the symbolism of Bataille's Asafal, we are met with the headless man. In the case of ceremonial magic, we find the headless rite, both of which point to the headless body as the pure creative will. The head is the ego, that which claims to be I, but is not. We even see this in the Jack Kirby character, Ego the Living Planet, who is just a head. Where do we see this the most clearly? In the profile picture, or avatar. Our online presence is often reduced entirely to a head. This was the subject of a comic book my girlfriend and I made, Black Sun. Some of the images I used in the video are from it. It looks at the dull and selfish ego, lost in space, and no longer capable of creating something great. It was meant as a critique of this subject, and comic books themselves. A head stuck in a panel, and of course the symbolism of Saturn and his black cube. To look into some more of the dangers of internet addiction, let's use a profound recording from Carl Jung.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are some greetings for you. I can't conceal the fact that I dislike the performance thoroughly, but I'm told that you like my voice better than I do. Since I am expected to behave like an unselfish person, I will make the effort to speak to your imaginary presence. I have been born and I lived in a time where there existed nothing like artificial and disembodied voices, except in lunatic asylums. Now I shall submit to the demand to become one of those disconnected and abstract vocal existences which are certainly a most alarming symptom of our crazy present. We are all a bit disconnected from the past, uprooted from our soil, and floating upon uncertain airs. That is the reason why I dislike to become one of those depersonalized voices, separated from my living personal existence. It is just the contrary of what my daily endeavor was in the last 50 years, namely to help people to get back to their roots, to the totality of their being.
This is from an address Jung gave to the Analytical Psychology Club of New York. I've always found this speech quite profound and frightening, as we certainly live in times which have accelerated these conditions that Jung saw as harmful. You and I are literally engaging in this right now. This voice, this recording itself, has taken a part of me and has been listened to by who knows how many people, the vast majority of which I will never meet. This is a relatively innocuous example for you. You likely have a great deal of friends on the internet who exist solely as these voices or words on a screen. When we become addicted to the internet, we delve head first and head only into a virtual reality. And in so doing, our own heads slouch further and further away from our bodies, our true selves, and toward unknowable and mad digital scapes. But what exactly do our heads do in this space? These digitized egos, through the attention they receive, quickly take on a life of their own, powerful personas are formed, and soon they can become far more powerful than the personality you believe you possessed before the internet. Our lives on the internet become the real thing. Our faces become haunting memes. Entities completely different from who we truly are. A frightening reminder of this deep separation of the true self from the digital experience is the function of the screen as a black mirror, the kind that magicians used for scrying, for gazing into the hazy, occulted future. When, for a moment, our screens go dark, we are met with a terrible return of the repressed. We see our own grim faces reflected, a horrible counterpart to the beautiful, colorful thing we were gazing into just a second ago.